From 4 fighters chickening out of a battle with the Chechen to Dana White revealing the Boers himself is the reason behind the delay. Here's Khamzat Chimaev opening up about the lack of fights. Ever since Chimaev's last fight, a lot has gone down. Conor McGregor made a notorious comeback as coach. Poatan won and lost his middleweight title to Stylebender, and Jon Jones sealed off his redemption arc by doing his best GOAT impression in the mic. All these events, but wait, where's Khamzat at? If you ask me, it's simple, no Boers, no party. But why has the Chechen beast been so MIA? Well, this is one of the very rare occasions in the fight game where apparently nobody wants the smoke. Chimaev vented out on his YouTube channel last December that he was training for an unnamed fighter. But he also added how the UFC has been frequently changing plans left, right, and center. In his own chaotic Chimaev way, Evil Khabib mentioned how there have been a lot of guys talking trash, but when it comes to inking out the contract, they all scatter like sheep. Apparently not 1, not 2, but 4 opponents went nope when it came to fighting the Chechen. He even name-dropped another beast in the middleweight division, Alex Pereira, complaining how Poatan was the guy getting all the title fights, and even explicitly called the Brazilian out in November of last year. But wait, hold on, something's not right. Before the Adesanya fight, the former champion was questioned on the speculation for a dream brawl between the two. According to him, it was Khamzat who was offered a fight in January, which he turned down. Well, so much for saying he could take Poatan down first round, first minute if they ever fought. Khamzat forgot to put some extra emphasis on that if. Pereira bragged that he isn't as lost as Boers is. Even UFC legend and analyst Michael Bisping had his eye on the situation, and he is as confused as we are. He spilled some insider tea for us, revealing the deal Alex had made. It was plain simple, 205 pounds in January. Now that sounds like a spectacle if you ask me, but not to Boers. Chimaev was having none of it. To him, it was nothing but a fake fight, a fake belt, a fake coach, and a fake fighter. Sheesh. However, through all the speculation, it's difficult to see a reason why Khamzat would be ducking Poatan for all people. Yeah, he probably is the most vicious striker in the UFC, but Poatan is only potent if Khamzat even gives him a chance to use his hands. And Bisping agrees. Adesanya exposed Pereira's takedown defense, and had Adesanya's measured the Brazilian better, some would say the fight was his. But Chimaev isn't Adesanya. That is probably one of the main reasons why fighters have been ducking him is because they have families, wives, and kids. I mean, come on, the man is an absolute machine. Exhibit A, Kevin Holland at UFC 279. Okay, if we set aside the whole weight miss fiasco with Nate Diaz, and the fact that Kevin Holland took the fight at short notice, no one, and I repeat, no one thought that the margin would be that big. As soon as the clock started ticking, it was a countdown, not till the end of round 1, but on Kevin Holland's hopes and dreams of making it out of the fight in one piece. Khamzat really lived up to his nickname as the Boers, as he menacingly went for Holland's legs, ragdolling him across the canvas. It was a display of raw strength, technical grappling, and dominance. He was making a statement here, that he was the most ferocious fighter in the division. And let's not forget that this was the man who cradled Li Jingliang over to Dana White during his fight, screaming at the top of his lungs why he is the king, and that he is here to take on anyone the UFC president throws his way. Even Adesanya has been in Khamzat's crosshairs recently. Right after reclaiming his legacy and the middleweight title against Poatan, everyone was talking about who Stylebender should face next. But, slight problem. Izzy has nothing left to prove. Adesanya has beaten just about everyone in the division. Well, everyone except none other than Khamzat. After his win, there was a big elephant in the room not being addressed. Izzy was quick to cryptically call out Dricus du Plessis for a potential next fight. And of course, Chimaev was quick to make his presence felt. He tweeted at Stylebender with some sus-eye emojis, letting the new champion know that he has his attention. And can I just say this bout gives off mad super fight energy? Some predict Khamzat to absolutely demolish Izzy, whose grappling is so-so. That is, if it actually happens. Now, City kickboxing coach Eugene Behrman questioned what Khamzat had done to deserve a shot at the title. And, well, despite basking in a crazy undefeated streak, he thinks it's better for the business if Khamzat actually proves his worth in the middleweight division before facing the end game. Okay, a fight with Stylebender may be a long shot. How about the Nigerian Nightmare? After being dethroned by Rocky Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman seems to be enjoying having the pressure of being a champion taken off his shoulders. He's said to have fallen in love with the sport of MMA all over again. And he's declared his dancing partner for his new romance with the fight game to be none other than Khamzat Chimaev. As for Boers, he's ready to poison Usman into retirement. Even Dorino, Gilbert Burns, approves of the encounter, having gone toe-to-toe with both fighters. If there's anyone who can confirm just how badass the fight would be, it's him. During a press conference, he plainly dubbed the matchup bigger than a fight with Paulo Costa, who is likely to be Chimaev's next opponent. Well, as enticing as it sounds, the fight just doesn't sit well with the UFC boss. Why, you ask? Because fighting at catchweight is a big no-no for business. If you don't already know, a catchweight is when two fighters agree to fight at a weight that is outside the formal weight class system. If the fight is to take place, Kamaru should move up to 185, or keep dreaming. It's really funny how he didn't even throw Chimaev cutting down in the equation. I don't think he can bear another weigh-in disaster where Chimaev flexes being 7 pounds over the limit and goes, "Not that bad," and flips off the crowd. Okay, we see you, Dana. Business is business. But what about Borchina versus the Boers? Now, this is a fight that deserves the green light from Dana White. I'm sure everyone remembers their famous altercation that made even Dana go, "Fighters will be fighters." Back in September 2022, a footage made all the buzz in social media, where Boers and Costa were seen in an altercation at UFC Performance Institute. Even though there weren't any fists or takedowns being thrown around, let's just say some pretty colorful words were said out loud. One particular jab from Chimaev mocked Costa for being violated by Adesanya at the end of the fight. Fans were left teased into a possible matchup between the two, and their constant back and forth over social media only flared up the speculation even more. Well, guess Khamzat's fighter drought may finally be coming to a befitting end, as the two are set to be on a collision course to UFC 294 in Abu Dhabi. Speaking to the MMA Hour, Borchina spilled the beans, saying he's been bothering the UFC for a fight well before October, in June. Unlike all the other names thrown around to fight Chimaev, Costa thinks this fight has a very high chance of coming to fruition. Guess Costa really came around after Chimaev made the claim that he had run away when speaking in an interview with Red Corner MMA. So what's the sitch, Dana? Everyone was waiting for the boss to reveal a big fight confirmation for the Boers after Ramadan. Well, bummer, because it was confirmed Khamzat wouldn't be seen in action, at least till October. What's all the holdup? According to the UFC president, the problem isn't with the fighters or the UFC, the problem is the Boers himself. Speaking to Aaron Bronstetter, Dana explained that there's been a lot of stuff going on in Chimaev's personal life that's been keeping him from getting him a fight. Why wouldn't he want Boers to get the fight? As per the norm in the UFC, if they don't get fighters to get to work in the octagon, they have to pay them regardless. And the only way this doesn't happen is if they have some personal issues they have to deal with first. So, from how things are looking right now, don't expect to get your dose of some good old-fashioned mauling from Chimaev anytime soon. All in all, it's safe to say it's not a matter of if, but when we get to see Chimaev demolish his next opponent. Until then, we can only patiently wait for our Boers to quench his bloodlust. So, from Dana White revealing the Boers himself is the reason behind the delay, to 4 fighters chickening out of a battle with the Chechen, that was Khamzat Chimaev opening up about his lack of fights.